Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, we'll be discussing the 1999 thriller, The Sixth Sense, starring Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment. Of course, this movie was directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and this movie became such a huge hit. I think it became like the second biggest money-making movie in 1999, behind Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. So it goes to I think those two movies were like 1 or 2 in the box office for 1999. So it goes to show you how huge this movie was. And I think this movie was also nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture, for the writing, the direction, the editing, and of course also for Haley Joel Osment's performance. He was one of the youngest, and not the youngest, actor to be nominated for an Academy Award. Unfortunately, he didn't win, and neither did Bruce Willis, by the way. I don't think Bruce Willis was even nominated. I knew Haley Joel Osment was, whose other previous role before The Sixth Sense was playing Little Forrest in the end of the movie, the Oscar-winning film Forrest Gump. So he already had a pretty good resume already by the time he starred in this film. And this movie's like 5 years after Forrest Gump came out. So he was great. For those of you who don't know the movie, of course, everybody knows the ending of this movie, which I am going to. Major spoiler: Bruce Willis dies in this movie. That's the big secret in this film. What happened is, in the film, or the basic plot of the film is that Bruce Willis plays a child psychologist or psychiatrist who helps Haley Joel Osment, who sees dead people. He kind of had like some psychic ability or something, and he not only sees dead people, but he communicates with them, and and vice versa, they communicate with him. And the thing is that and of course the joke is that Haley Joel Osment tells Bruce Willis they know they're dead. There's a famous scene where after a birthday party, he's in the hospital because a couple of kids who were picking on him locked him in an upstairs bedroom or something, or a closet, and he couldn't get out. And the mother got him out, and Haley Joel Osment's mother got him out of the closet, and he's in the hospital. And he has a blanket up to here. He says, "Ice." It says to Bruce Willis, and one of the most famous, and I think the most famous scene in the whole movie. When he had a blanket up to here, he goes, "I see dead people, and they don't know they're dead." And of course, that's... Even though when I first saw this movie, I already knew what the ending was, but they had such a great setup for the ending plot twist. But what happens in the beginning of the movie, you know that Bruce Willis' character was a child psychologist who just won an award as the best child psychologist or something from his fellow psychiatrists. And this guy who Bruce Willis used to treat when he was a kid broke into his house and actually shoots Bruce Willis, in his own house. Of course, you're wondering if he had lived or not. And then, of course, a year later, or the following fall, you see him running around, and then, of course, eventually talks to Haley Joel Osment's character and requires a rapport with him and starts to work with him. And of course, the rest of the movie, you see Bruce Willis writing down notes, doing other things, and he's recording on a tape recorder his conversations with Haley Joel Osment's character. And you see him talking to his mother and saying, "Oh, well, help your son. I'm going to do the best I can." Yada yada yada. And then meanwhile, the whole time, Bruce Willis's character was dead. He was a ghost the whole time. And there was things that you could tell that give you hints that Bruce Willis's character was actually dead. And I thought that M. Night Shyamalan gave her the tension there and the drama there and everything. But we know that he was dead because a lot of people. This was also when this movie came out. It was in the early days of the internet. So a lot of people were in chat rooms. Don't forget, also that time there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter. I don't think YouTube was even around then, 1999. That's how long ago it was, folks, that this movie came out. And people in chat rooms were talking about this movie that Bruce Willis dies within the first 5-10 minutes of this film, and then the rest of the movie he's a ghost throughout the rest of the film, and they do give you hints that Bruce Willis was a ghost. In this film, so when it's revealed at the end that he actually was a ghost, it's like you knew it was a ghost the whole time, but I mean you could tell. You could tell, especially when M. Night Shyamalan puts a lot of red in the movie, and every time that's red, the ghost can't get in there. And there's one particular room in the house where it has a red doorknob, and Bruce Willis tries to open up the door, he can never open it. Or Haley Joel Osment is in a red tent, and the ghost can't get in there because of the red. So it gives you a lot of hints that Bruce Willis was a ghost the whole time. But so the Bruce Willis gave a great performance. It's very weird to see Bruce Willis not use the word motherfucker in the movie, because that's the most famous role was in Die Hard. And giving it to somebody who acted in Die Hard, who was constantly cursing in that movie, plays more of a downbeat character in this film. Maybe because of the fact that he was dead back there throughout the whole movie. But I thought this movie was very, very good, considering the fact that, like I said a few times already, that you knew what the ending was. Before you even went to see this movie, you knew what the ending was. At least I did, when the movie came out. And even when I went to the movie, it sort of felt like, Bruce Willis is dead in this movie, right? And he goes, what? I said, he's dead. He dies in this movie, and the rest of the movie is a ghost. I spoiled it for him when we went to the movie out, and he says, he's dead? Yeah, he's dead. And then, of course, we saw a documentary on The Sixth Sense and how they, hinted, gave all the hints. But I thought that Haley Joel Osment, he was terrific in this movie. I mean, he really, truly was. And so was Bruce Willis was great. I think all the actors were terrific in this film, especially the two leads. But like I said, we all know what the ending was in this film. Kind of like the movie The Crying Game, which I never saw, which everybody knows that it was actually a man, not a woman, that the main character had an affair with. Everybody knew the ending of The Crying Game. Same thing with The Sixth Sense. Everybody knew what the ending was. That Bruce Willis was dead. and everybody made jokes. A lot of people make jokes about that movie because of that. But because of that, despite the jokes, it's still a good movie. It's still, even though it's now a 23-year-old film, it still works out. It still holds up as a good suspense thriller. So that's my review of the movie The Sixth Sense. Please click on the video, please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please forward this video on your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews and on my YouTube channel at RowdyC.com. It's on WDY. C.com. It's our homepage. Rowdy Reviewer, Chris Lee Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.